Hello and welcome to this session in which we will discuss non-exchange expenditure. And this should bring us back to another similar concept. It's called non-exchange revenues. Just like we have non-exchange expenditure, just like we have non-exchange revenues, we should have a non-exchange expenditure, because sometimes government, they do engage in non-exchange, not sometimes, oftentimes in non-exchange revenues, but also they do engage in non-exchange expenditure. And what is this non-exchange expenditure? Non-exchange expenditure is when you pay for something and you don't get of equal value. Think of it in contrast to an exchange transaction. When you have an exchange transaction, you pay $100 for something and you would receive value of something else of $100. This is an exchange transaction. In a non-exchange expenditure, you pay $100 and you get in return $2 or sometimes zero. You incurred an expenditure and you did not receive anything in return. Now, the government, they have non-exchange revenues where they receive revenues without giving anything in return. But sometimes what they do, they also incur expenditure and they don't get anything in return. Non-exchange expenditure are the flip side of non-exchange revenues, because sometimes it's the government itself, oftentimes it's the government engaging in this non-exchange expenditure. While non-exchange revenues occur when the government receives money without giving an equivalent exchange, non-exchange expenditure happen when the government pay out money without getting anything in return. So when do they do that? It's when one government grant gives money to another government. So a state government might grant money to a city, or a city might grant fund to a nonprofit for a specific purpose without expecting anything in return. This is what we called non-exchange. It's an expenditure. We had to write a check, we have to send the money, we have to wire the money, but we did not get anything in return. Because if it was an exchange, if we received something in return, we know how to deal with this. So this is a non-exchange transaction. How do we deal with those? When do we recognize non-exchange expenditure? This is what we will discuss in this session. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com.
Hello, my name is Farhat. You are here because you are either an accounting student, a finance student, or someone who's studying for their CMA or CPA exam. Great. You are looking for some additional help, and we can help you. I strongly encourage you to visit my website, farhatlectures.com. I offer additional lectures, resources, including PowerPoint slides, multiple choice questions, in some circumstances, exercises, and true-false questions. Our material is aligned with your CPA review courses, with your CMA review courses, with your college courses. I offer a risk-free trial that you can try to find out whether my website can help you or not. If you find it helpful, you subscribe, you keep your subscription. If not, you cancel and your risk is free. If you like this recording, if you like my lectures, you would like what's on the website, give me a chance to help you with your college courses as well as professional certification. I hope to see you on the website.
So the recognition of non-exchange expenditure depends on meeting certain requirement, eligibility criterias. And guess what? Those criterias, simply put, they are the kind of the mirror image of, you guessed it, non-exchange revenues. Because for one government non-exchange revenue, for the other government is a non-exchange expenditure. Those could be timing conditions. Funds are only recognized as expenditure when timing restrictions are met. Sometimes the government might give money and they might impose a purpose. Well, when can they recognize the expenditure? Payment made for a specific purpose are recognized only when the recipient uses the funds for that purpose. Because if they don't, what do they have to do? They have to give it back to you. So it's not an expenditure unless they did spend the money for whatever that purpose. Eligibility. You have to have eligibility. Expenditure are recognized when the recipient meet eligibility criteria, spending the money on the approved activities. So this is what triggers on our end, the generous government, the the obligation, let's not use the obligation, the time to record the expenditure. So under the modified accrual basis, these expenditures are recorded when they become obviously measurable, also available for use. Same thing, measurable means you can, the amount, and you have to pay for them this period, they're going to be used from this period, or 60 days after the next period. So when are non-exchange again recognized? Well, you could have contingencies. If you have contingencies, once you meet those contingencies, if the funds are contingent upon certain condition being fulfilled, like a matching contribution, well, you will tell the city government or nonprofit, you raise 50,000, I will pay 50,000. So I don't have an expenditure unless you raise 50,000 for your cause. You raise that 50,000, automatically I have that expenditure because I'm now responsible. It's a contingent upon you satisfying. Sometimes it's reimbursement basis. You tell them, look, I made this commitment, but I cannot record the expenditure unless you send me the receipts, the paperwork. So in cases where funding is provided on a reimbursement basis, the recipient must incur and document qualifying expenditure before the expenditure can be recognized. So sometimes one government tells the city, or a city tells a nonprofit, yes, I'm willing to reimburse you. I'm willing to give you the money on reimbursement basis. You incur the expense, you incur the cost, you document it, you send me the paperwork, I'm ready to record my expense. So let's work a few examples to show you this. And for the purpose of these examples, what I decided to do is to show you the expenditure and the revenue. So this way you get an idea, that they are mirror image of each other. So let's take a look at the first example. A city approves a $400,000 grant to a nonprofit December X5 for use in X6 activities. So here they told them you can only use it in X6. They approve it in X5, but they can use it in X6. The grant is funded by the X6 budget, and the grant is actually funded in X6 budget, and the other party will have to use it in X6. So in X5, the city, that generous city, no journal entry, because the timing restriction has not been yet made. All what they did is they met, they approved it, and that's that. In 06, what they have to do when the grant is dispersed, at some point they have to let the money go because they need to use it in X6. They will debit grant expenditure, 400,000. Obviously, they will credit cash. Now, the lucky nonprofit in 06, the recipient, they will, when the funds are received, they will debit cash. And since they received it in 06, they can use it in 06. That's the only restriction, is use it in 06, then it's revenue, grant revenue in 06. That's it. They met the eligibility criteria, and the eligibility criteria, use it in 06. We have it in 06. They can use it for whatever reason. As far as they're concerned, they used it, it's revenue. What should you do? As an accounting student, if you're taking governmental accounting or studying for the CPA exam, farhatlecture.com is the way to go. Invest in yourself. Good luck, and of course, stay safe.